I never thought my electrical engineering degree would be used to psychologically outplay a homeowners association. But that was before Deborah Patterson decided to turn a natural disaster into her personal dictatorship. The power had been out for 36 hours. A brutal ice storm had shut down half of Littleton, Colorado, roads frozen, temperatures below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. My wife Sarah had our two kids wrapped in blankets upstairs while my small Honda generator kept the house barely livable. Then at exactly 7:03 a.m., someone knocked. Not a friendly knock, a you're in trouble knock. I opened the door and there she was. Deborah Patterson, HOA president, perfect blonde hair, designer down coat, arms crossed like a prison warden. She didn't even say hello. Mr. Erickson, your generator is violating HOA policy. You have 30 minutes to shut it off. I blinked. Thought she was joking. Deborah, the entire neighborhood is without power. It's freezing. She slowly pulled out a laminated rule sheet like she was about to perform an execution. Section 12, paragraph 4. Generators are prohibited without board approval. Noise pollution, visual disturbance. Multiple neighbors have complained. Multiple neighbors. I looked past her. Every house was dark, silent, frozen. You're threatening to fine me for keeping my kids warm? Her lips curled into a thin, almost satisfied smile. Rules don't disappear just because you're uncomfortable, Derek. $500 per day, starting today. Sarah appeared behind me, shaking. It's 20 degrees outside. Deborah didn't flinch. The community center has power. If you're struggling, you can go there. And that's when I realized something terrifying. She wasn't enforcing rules. She was enjoying control. She turned and walked away, already knocking on my neighbor's door, and I stood there thinking, this woman would rather watch us freeze than lose authority. I drove to the community center expecting some kind of emergency shelter. What I walked into felt more like Deborah's private palace. The parking lot was half plowed, every window glowing, heat pouring out of the vents like a luxury spa. Inside, about 20 residents were scattered around, charging phones, drinking coffee, sitting under bright lights like refugees in a five-star bunker. And in the center of it all, Deborah, standing near the kitchen with two board members like bodyguards, laughing, smiling, holding court. When she saw me, her face hardened instantly. Mr. Erickson, did you shut down your generator? Not yet, I said. I wanted to see the alternative you keep advertising. I gestured around. Looks expensive. Robert Willis, the HOA treasurer, shifted uncomfortably. The community center generator is HOA property, properly approved. I nodded slowly. I work for Excel Energy. That generator is burning about $250 a day in natural gas. Maybe more with this load. Deborah snapped. HOA emergency funds cover it. So let me understand this, I said calmly. You can burn thousands of dollars of shared money to stay comfortable, but I can't spend $3 of my own gas to keep my kids from freezing? Her eyes went cold. If you don't like the rules, Derek, you shouldn't live here. That's when it hit me. She wasn't offering the community center as help. She was forcing dependence. Shut down your home, come under her roof, sit in her building, use her power, follow her rules. This wasn't an HOA anymore. It was a cult with heating, and Deborah was the priest. If this story already has you heated, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. I went home furious, but not loud furious, the dangerous kind of quiet, because something about Deborah's behavior didn't feel like simple power tripping anymore. It felt strategic. The way she kept pushing everyone toward the community center, the way she wanted people dependent, the way she smiled when she said, under HOA supervision. That night, while Sarah and the kids slept upstairs next to the heater, I went down into my basement. And I stood in front of the thing that had always felt like a useless architectural quirk, the main electrical junction boxes for half the subdivision. When I bought the house, the inspector told me, your property is one of the original service nodes. Some of the lines branched through here. At the time, it meant nothing. Now it meant everything. I opened the panel. There it was on the diagram. Community center, feed line, running directly through my foundation. I just stared at it. Deborah had threatened me with $500 a day, threatened to lien my house, threatened my family's safety, all while sitting on her warm throne. So I did what engineers do. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I isolated the system. I flipped the disconnect, then physically separated the line and capped it safely. 5 minutes later, I walked outside, found the natural gas valve that fed the community center's generator, and I turned that off too. Legally, I was performing maintenance on utility infrastructure located on my property. Psychologically, I had just pulled the life support on Deborah's kingdom. Within the hour, my phone rang. Tom, my lawyer neighbor. Derek, the community center just went dark. Generator died. Deborah is screaming at the gas company. I looked at the glowing lights in my house, felt the warmth, and for the first time since the storm started, I smiled, because now she didn't control the power anymore. I did. The emergency HOA meeting was supposed to destroy me. That was Deborah's plan. She called it a disciplinary hearing like I was some criminal child. Packed Margaret Chen's living room with 30 residents and all 5 board members. Phones out, people whispering. The atmosphere felt like a public trial. Deborah stood up first. Derek Erickson deliberately sabotaged HOA property and endangered public welfare. She said it with confidence, like she'd already won. Then something unexpected happened. A man in the back stood up. Richard Torres, attorney, HOA member. The room went silent. I've been reviewing the HOA's financial records under Colorado law, he said calmly, and what I found is far more concerning than a disconnected power line. He connected his laptop to the TV. Spreadsheets filled the screen. Payments, reimbursements, consulting fees, over $40,000 paid to a company called Mountain Vista Consulting. Richard turned slowly toward Deborah. Want to tell everyone why that company is registered in your name? Deborah's face drained of color. The room exploded. Turns out while she was threatening us with fines, she was paying herself with HOA money. Fake invoices, fake services, real theft. 2 weeks later, the police arrested her. Fraud, embezzlement, felony charges. The woman who tried to freeze my kids left her house in handcuffs. Deborah didn't lose power. She lost everything. Reputation, position, freedom, all because she confused authority with invincibility and forgot one thing. You never threaten an engineer who knows where the switches are. If this story shocked you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because sometimes the most dangerous villains aren't criminals. They're HOA presidents with clipboards,